that's the trick of the market, is that you got to be ready to, if you get stuck in a certain paradigm and say, this is the way I see it and this is the way it is, that's where you're going to get in trouble. What you're about to see is a video snippet from inside the boiler room. Every single morning before the open of the US stock markets, I analyze dozens of stocks and then decide on the trades that we're going to look at for that day with dozens of traders. We all get together, execute trades, chat some, and make some money together on a Zoom conference call. Go to thepatterntrader.com/club to find out more. EXPO. Looks like it's made a inverted head and shoulders here, a rounding bottom here. So again, this looks kind of like a fake out where it didn't quite make a new low, and now it's going to sneak out the top of this triangle. So you had, two lows here, doesn't quite make a low, and then starts sneaking out the other side. So this is still kind of a case of lower highs, but this thing looks like, I don't know, it just looks like it could come out to the other side. EXPO. I was just looking at a ton of these things. So I don't know, the strategy for this week, just need to be extremely focused and have a game plan. Whatever you do, don't get dissuaded by, the froth. Try and just set up a game plan and a risk point. So if it doesn't work out, and that's kind of why I like options. I mean, options, you got to be prepared to lose just about everything you put in. But on the same hand, that you're kind of limited to that. So you put, something in the middle and you see if that works out or not. So I don't really see a bottom here per se. I would like to see kind of another something, have to see how we go today. So this is the Russell. I just feel, again, that we put in a bottom. And if we put in a bottom, this thing will find a way to go higher. So then I'm just going to look for sell-offs to try and nibble at buying some calls into a sell-off. S&P, again, looks like we have this bottom. So I just feel like stocks have probably put in the low for the year. So, if something's going to put in a low, it's going to go higher. The question is, where, what's the timing? So this is kind of a funky little area here. Nothing really to, I think we just need to have one more day. And then tomorrow is going to be the big day. So I don't know. I'm looking, if we could just somehow get some kind of sell off today, I'm going to start nibbling down here, just for the hell of it. And then I'm short Tesla. That's kind of my big stock right now. I still think that we're going to get sub 200 on Tesla. And then I'll probably start taking some profits underneath there and just try and get my head straight. Because this is a great example of how the markets are fluid and dynamic. And they give us one look, which is a real look, but then, if it gives way to another look, you got to be ready to adjust. And this is what I'm saying, is that it's a constant adjustment period where we get hypnotized, we get into a way of thinking, whether it be technology stocks, where for 15 years we've been groomed a certain way. And when conditions change, it's very hard for us to kind of rewire and go the other way. But that's the trick of the market, is that you got to be ready to, if you get stuck in a certain paradigm and say, this is the way I see it and this is the way it is, that's where you're going to get in trouble. So right here, there was a perfect double top, and then you had key reversals that basically said, the next move is lower. And that was correct. So sometimes we see these patterns and they do their job. So this thing after the top went from 210 to 155. So it did its job. But then it gave way to another pattern. And so, we've got to kind of see that. So you have the double top kind of come down, give way to a bottom. And now at some point, and this is what and it's like silver, silver looks a certain way. But if the market doesn't go that way and starts rejecting it, then it becomes a busted pattern. And then the question is, when does that inflate? So to my mind, this was a double top. It was also an inverted head and a head and shoulders. And then you had this downtrending neckline. So this had every ingredient for a major bear market sell-off. And I was kind of, this is what I was thinking at the time these patterns were lining up. But you could see, I mean, the market came exactly to this neckline. And, and that's why we look at these necklines, because they become confirmations. If this starts breaking this, then, that pattern is real. But this is the difference between a textbook and the market. We see these patterns, and in a textbook, this is what it looks like. And we go, oh, if we would have taken that, we would have made all this money. But in reality, if it doesn't do one thing and it starts doing the other, this starts becoming a busted pattern. Now, it's kind of a judgment call at what time. It's just like when something, isn't respecting, what it's looking like. If it's not doing one thing, it's going to do the other. And that's exactly what happened here. And that's why I'm always kind of looking for the traps and the minefields where the market sets up so beautifully, like silver, where you've got this 3-year distribution pattern, it breaks below the thing and starts not respecting that. And now you have what could be so you always got to be on guard, so I draw my structure. And when I was very young, I would put every dime I had in this thing, say, I'm going to get ahead of this thing. I know what this thing looks like. And then I'd lose all my money. And I wouldn't understand why that happened. And so it kind of now led me into this mode of thinking, and I call it kind of dynamic charting, because you can't look at a chart on a static basis. I look at a chart and then I see how does the market respond to what I'm looking at. So I start off with a certain thesis, but if the market's not respecting what I'm looking at, I can't just dig my heels and say, well, but this is a double top and I'm going to, and when I was young, I kept on shorting and shorting and shorting. And then I got, carried out to the park. And, it was through taking all those losses that you start learning that, you can't muscle a market, so very simply, I have this philosophy. It's not going to do one thing, it's going to do the other. And that's a great case in point. So, Deere and Caterpillar, same space, they were looking like they were going down, and now they've, come back up and, look very much like, it's going to continue going. Hey, if you would like to trade alongside me every day and join our most prestigious program, then head over to thepatterntrader.com/club for more information.